Yeah, it's okay.
Educational psychology, methods of educational psychology. After defining the term psychology, after defining the term educational psychology, after looking at the nature of psychology, we need to move on and look at the methods of educational psychology. Here we say, educational psychology is a scientific or systematic study of the behavior of the learner in relation to his educational environment. Once again, educational psychology is a scientific or systematic study of the behavior of who? Of the learner in what? In relation to his educational environment. Well, this behavior can be studied how? By a simple approach called what? Observation. This behavior of the learner, that is, can be studied by a simple approach called observation. You know, what have to bear in mind is that in the teaching and learning process, a learner is at the core. So for you to know the behavior of this learner, you need to do an observation. That's an approach, a simple approach. Employ observation. However, this observation method has to be adjusted depending upon the conditions in which observations have to be made. Once again, I'm saying this simple technique, so-called observation method, needs to be adjusted depending upon the conditions in which observations have to be made. The procedure and tools adopted. Oh, I'm fast. Yeah, so basically the issue is you put what conditions, procedures and tools into consideration as we're trying to observe the learner's behavior. Think about the conditions, and then procedures, and then tools to be you. The following are the various methods of observation under different situations. You may observe learners' behaviors in different situations. So these methods are used in different situations. You know what the situation and you know what kind of method can be used. Number one, there is also called introspection method. Introspection method. Number two, observation method. Three, experimental method. And then case history method. Case history method. So we need to elaborate this. We need to elaborate this. But otherwise, we're talking about, yes, various methods of observation under different situations. Remember, I've said earlier on, when you're observing this behavior, the simple method is observation, which has been basically categorized into these methods. All right? Yes. One introspection. Can you try to make use of your phone, please? Introspection method means what? Please, can you Google that? Introspection method of observation.
The meaning.
You write introspection method of observation.
It says introspection method of observation involves a person observing and examining their own conscious thoughts, feelings, and mental states to gain a deeper understanding of their inner experience.
Come again on that one?
Involves a person observing and examining their own conscious thoughts, feelings, and mental state to gain a deeper understanding of their inner experience.
I like that. Observing and examining their own
conscious
thoughts,
feelings, and mental state.
And mental state. Yeah. That's yourself, all right? You as an individual. You try to examine your own. It's your own. You're somebody else, but your own. Is it? Yourself. Anything else?
It's where one looks inwardly to examine their own conscious thoughts, feelings, and mental processes.
It's where one looks inward to examine
their own conscious
thoughts,
feelings, and mental
processes. Get it? Self-examination. Yes? You examine yourself. Introspection method. Observation. That method.
Observation method.
Involves what?
Observation methods. A research technique for systematically watching, recording, and analyzing behaviors, events, or phenomena in their natural or controlled settings.
Come again?
research technique for systematically watching, recording, and analyzing behaviors, events, or phenomena in their natural or controlled settings.
In their natural or controlled what? Settings. Okay. Sometimes when someone is observing you, you may not even know. Somebody is observing you. You know what they were doing. Because this one, deliberately, he never wants to interfere with whatever you're doing. He never wants to disturb you in that natural setting. I told you that when you're it, you're more in it. But it's a study without knowing what you're doing. Stand play. How about you get out? Getting away. Recording, know whatever he's doing. Yeah? That's that. That's observation. Experimental method.
It says involves a researcher manipulating one or more variables under controlled conditions to determine their cause and effect relationships of their variables.
Come again with that one.
Involves a researcher manipulating one or more variables under controlled conditions to determine their cause and effect relationships to other variables.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, Greta, anything else to add?
Involves scientific research techniques that manipulate variables in a controlled environment to establish cause and effect relationships with the goal of providing objective and reliable data.
All right, thank you. Let's move on to case study method. Case study method.
Which involves collecting detailed background information on an individual or situation.
Come again?
This involves collecting detailed background information on an individual or situation.
All right. Welcome, please. We are in the methods of psychology. Introspection. This is the oldest method of studying behavior where the learner should make a self what? Observation. I.e. looking inwards. Looking inwards. For example, when a person is angry, he may be asked to determine how he felt during that period of anger by his own observation. You were angry, but how were you feeling inside in the course of being angry? Move on to me. This method is simple, direct, cheap, and reveals one's behavior. Once you feed us, it keeps people going to be pretty good. Yeah. What is it? The man asking me, so can you tell me?
Okay, I was just concluding.
Eh?
My first time similar to me is a notice is
Have a look here, my dear friend. Who's good? Who's good? Let me tell you what we're doing here. On it? Yeah. What's that?
methods of education psychology.
Thank you so much. So, Can you read here first, please?
Education psychology is the scientific or systematic study of behavior of the learner in relation to his educational environment. This behavior can be studied by a simple approach called observation. However, these observation methods have to be adjusted depending upon the conditions in which observation have to be made, the procedure and tools adopted.
Here,
Um, the methods of observation under different situation: introspection method, observation method, experimental method, case system method.
okay, thank you. So we'll start with this one, right? Right?
Yes.
When you all have tried, tell me what it means. So it's nothing else but just trying to compliment what you have told me already, to say this is the honest method of studying behavior, where the learner himself is to make a self-observation, i.e. looking inwards,
Okay.
right?
Maybe it's like the psychology where like a learner like me, I studied myself on how achieving my my how I am doing my studies. Maybe.
Yeah, you said it anyway, you look into yourself at yourself inwardly. Yeah. For example, when a person is angry, he may be asked to determine how he felt during that period of anger by his own observation. Correct. You know your winner, but we are bad. He becomes so furious, so angry. After some time, I may ask you, madam, I don't matter what we are. Mpaka saizi ngati imeneji mkati mumakuya mwe makabwanji samwana ntsiwa moyo kuna ndabo mbili mukufuatira tenge chimwalayi ndi mbinga yenoji amalinyasa kwambiri. Yeah, so ndikuti when we say this, people will tell now, will know your behavior. Yet from what you are saying, pasimene iweyo umamva mkati mwako. Yeah. You tell us whatever, you speak whatever is within yourself. Introspection. This method is simple, direct, cheap, and reveals one's what? Behavior. Sasa muyamba akyotiti amabyansanga humanity. Okay, but this method lacks reliability and can be used only for adult normal human beings. Right? Not children. Children, maybe those who are mature, they will be able to analyze themselves. Yeah. The machine needs to be there for you to be able to analyze yourself. Yeah. That's the way I was feeling myself. Well, this method requires the support of other methods which are more reliable. For this method to work, it needs the support of other methods. Or requires other methods which are more reliable. Because this one, on its own, that's not reliable method. But with the support of other methods that are reliable, then it will work. In this method, in this method, the learner's behavior is observed under natural conditions by other individuals. Such observation will be interpreted according to the perception of the observer. This helps to find out behavior by observing a person's external behavior. Here, any problem with this one? Yeah? Any problem here?
The
Solution.
okay, no, understand.
Yeah? In this method, the learner's behavior is observed under natural conditions by other individuals.
Not yoyo sa.
Which condition?
Not yoyo amampanga observe ndi anzake.
That one, the first one is it's yourself.
Eka.
All right? You look at yourself inwardly. All right? You try to explain how you are feeling. You are trying to react in the same manner. All right? But this one, it involves somebody else observing you. Whenever you are late, because I try to demonstrate. To say, I will stand here right now and watch whatever you are doing without you knowing that I'm here to observe. I will be like do recordings, whatever you are doing. Definitely, and then move out or move away from the natural setting. From the place where you are. Yeah, you are staying or you are living or whatever. Without you knowing, I can do whatever I can do. All right? Without interfering with you, without disturbing you, without yes, all right? You say, in this method, the next behavior is observed under natural, right?
Yeah.
Conditions. Yes, by other individuals. Such observation will be interpreted according to the perception of the observer. According to me as an observer. The way I have recorded this, the way I have studied him, or then I give my own interpretation. This helps to find out behavior by observing a person's external behavior, not inside behavior. Because interception, that's inside. You try to interpret how somebody behaves looking at what you are taught from what he felt maybe inside. But this one, you look at what somebody is doing. Okay? Externally. For example, if a person frowns, we can say that he is angry. But when we are studying behavior in natural conditions, we have to wait for the event.
Before I continue, what does plans mean?
Can you find your phone, please? Can you use your phone, please? Take your place. Please. Thank you so much. Can you use your phone, please, Amanda? And my friend over there? Frowning means what?
France. It's a facial expression where someone pulls their eyebrows together.
Is what? A facial?
Facial expression where someone pulls their
Pose?
eyebrows together and turns their mouth downward. Like,
Yes, like what? Yes.
can 20
Yes, please can you try to do that and explain? Yes, yes. Glad can you demonstrate?
Even your mouth. What's the word you use for that expression?
Frowning.
Frown. Oh, okay. Frowning.
Can you read?
not happy with something, worry or concern, concentration. Sometimes people frown when they are thinking hard.
Demonstrate.
Yes, I'm feeling.
Yeah. Okay. This method is okay.
Like this, I think so. Because I would put
Your
put their eyebrows together like
what are the eyebrows? Eyebrows. Show me the eyebrows.
this.
This. Okay, you put them together. Okay, and then your mouth.
Your mouth downward.
Then one. If you flow your brain, your eyebrows together. People frown when they are unhappy, annoyed, worried, confused. You frown a lot, you develop frown. Yeah.
Ndoni.
I'm gonna listen.
Okay, don't.
Okay. Yeah, so I say,
For example, if a person frowns, we can say that he is angry. But when we are studying behavior in natural conditions,
you have to wait for the event to take place. And keep quiet and watch. This method is helpful in studying the behavior of the children. However, this method will explain only present what? Behavior. Subjectivity of the investigation may affect the results. It's subjective. We have objectivity and subjectivity. So it says be subjective. The way I looked at him, nilikuwa meonetsera bibi samaki muntu huyo bile byange byamuti subjective. So results could be affected with those subjectively kind of Mathalan,
experimental method.
experimental method. Experimental method. In this method, behavior is observed and recorded under controlled conditions. This is done in psychological laboratory or in classrooms or outside the classrooms in certain physical or social environment. Accordingly, the cause and effect relationships are established. Can you go please on the same, talking more about experimental method? Can you do that? Let's refer our knowledge with other information. Mm-hmm.
I'm still.
Can you go with that?
Experimental.
What to say?
It says involves a researcher manipulating an independent variable to determine its cause and effect relationship and effect relationship with a dependent variable while controlling the other influencing factors and often using a comparison rule.
Okay, thank you so much. Tamanda, is it simple or different else? Is it different? Something different?
Not really. So,
Come out, please.
it's
Give
a
your point.
research approach. Approach is a research approach used to determine cause and effect relationships between variables. Psychologists manipulate one variable and measure its effect on another while controlling other factors.
Okay. Cause and what? Cause and effect what?
Relationship.
Theories of behavior can be developed. That is, when you do the experiment, theories of behavior can be developed after doing an experiment. Well, I remember a theory that was developed by somebody else after doing an experiment in any other course.
Mendel.
Eh?
Mendel.
Ma?
Is I don't know is the pronunciation and I've forgotten the first name, but it's Mendel. It's Mendel. It's Mendel.
Mendel?
About the peas
Okay. Okay.
in genetics.
Okay.
The ball theory
The ball?
was
Boys?
theory in physics.
In physics. Okay? One made an experiment.
They combined theory with faith.
Yes, and then we come up with a theory.
He came with the theory that when the temperature rises,
Mhm.
when the temperature rises,
Yeah. Yes. Mhm.
when the volume rises, the temperature decreases.
Mhm.
And then there's when the volume rises,
Mhm.
the temperature vice versa. When it rises, it also rises. When it decreases, it decreases. And it's combined where when
And also, sorry?
And also,
And also that experiment of
Pavlov's.
Pavlov.
Pavlov.
eh,
he did when they already experiment on what?
the
Dog.
A
barrel.
dog.
Yeah.
what course is that? What subject is that?
Biology. Biology.
We don't
Pavlov.
have anything in bio, no theory in biology.
No?
Okay.
It's only physics and chemistry.
So we're saying
You did
this.
student biology.
We did, but no theories in bio. So it's physics and chemistry. These two.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're saying these experiments require the creation of artificial environment. Therefore, the scope is limited. Human behavior is very dynamic and unwanted, predictable. This method is also costly and time consuming. It's costly and time consuming. And the challenge is behavior is very dynamic and unpredictable. Not all city. Penelios. Yet, kama behave what we do leo. See the same person tomorrow. So that the person, he, behave yesterday, what has happened? It's dynamic and unpredictable. You can't predict that always he will be behaving in this manner. Today you find a man a different person. Tomorrow you'll be a different person. Dynamic and you can predict that always he'll be behaving this way. Get it? So the challenges or the discipline of this particular method is it's costly and time consuming. You do an experiment on a dog. Just Guess what? History is history. Guess history method, please use your phones, first of all. Guess history method. Yes, come on, to us.
Mm, the same is is a technique used to study an individual in depth by collecting a detailed information about their life experiences, development, behavior, and environment. It is one of the oldest methods in psychology and is especially common in clinical counseling, developmental, and educational psychology. Um, the case history method in psychology is a qualitative approach that involves gathering comprehensive data about an individual or sometimes a group through various sources such as interview, observation, personal documents, medical records, and psychological testing to understand their personality, mental health, or low behavior patterns.
Okay, thank you so much. Gracias. Ahora sí. Eh?
I'm waiting.
You are right, yes. Use your phone. Can you tell something on that?
Vandalata.
Don't do that. And my friend over there? Yeah?
I think we're going to read from one side. Sorry.
Yes, please.
Mine says
Mm-hmm.
a detailed record of an individual's background and experiences collected via methods like interviews, medical records, and questionnaires.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all. Wow, okay. Okay. This method is one of the steps used in the clinical method of studying what? Behavior. This method is used for those who are suffering from physical or mental disorders. That's it. For this, the case history has to be made of the alien experiences of the individual, which may be responsible for the present behavior. Okay. When you live Buto, Kamutozueta, disorders, customers, ya misala yamaga disorders really St. John Bosco, am I right? This is John. Yeah, teacher, when I go for a film, but the sit down the customers. You know, they have a guardian, them of function. My family. I didn't years ago. 5 years ago. It's not covered. For the whole day. So what do you think will be the cause of this problem? Maybe we don't know yet. Get it? You will say for this, the case history has to be made of the area experiences of the individual, which may be responsible for the present behavior. Get it? Zinaweka mbio. Ati mwenye could be responsible for the present behavior. There are some people amenelewa kusuda for you. Eti wachamba. Wewe Mungu. My spirits. The end is that mtuda kupenda. Eti kanini. Information is also collected from what? His parents, family, relatives, guardians, neighbors, friends, teachers, and from the reports about the individual's what? Past. His own experience. I was my clinician medical professionals, our office. Or let's say my parents at friends. No, I mean, when that's at friends. That case is history. This information will enable the clinical scientists to diagnose and suggest treatment if there is any problem. Information has been gathered from himself as a victim, from the parents or friend, or anyone else who knows him. That information will help the clinical scientists to diagnose, and suggest treatment if there is any problem. Diagnosis takes place. And then after finding a problem, they recommend for someone to receive one particular kind of treatment. However, this method will be successful only if the clinical researcher is technically efficient. Otherwise, you move as a non-palat. I mean, for those, I think I'm going to miss out. I'm going to be well, the findings are limited to the individuals observed, and the findings cannot be generalized. Before we call it a day, let's try to have a look at something else without taking much of our time. Otherwise, thoughts? These are the issues for us to appreciate.
We done?
We're not done.
I'm glad I'm done.
Yes, so once again, in this kind of psychology, that's education psychology, we also have a look on the development of the child. The development of the child. Basically, there are stages of development that is from infancy to childhood, and then as well as looking at their what implications. Following are the main stages of development. Number one, puberty, that's baby to 2 years. That's infancy, 1 to 2 years. And then 2 years to 5 years, early childhood. Early childhood. You know what, sometimes it becomes very important to scratch something else somewhere. When you take your pen and lay somewhere, and it's not everything, it's very of study. It's very so much help. 3, 6 years to 12 years, that's later childhood. And then 4, 12 years to 19 years, that's what? Adolescence. Adolescence. These are the major stages of development. These are types of development discussed under each stage of child development. So we have physical development, social development, and then emotional development. Right in here? Right in here?
What done?
Okay. Done? You are busy, let's do something else. I don't know if you are really done with that one.
Yes.
You want to try to lie to me. Please say you are done.
Since the social and emotional
Mm.
types of development discussed under each stage of child development.
Okay. Let's discuss the stages in detail. That is infancy, which is going to 2 years. physical development. Infancy. In infancy, a baby develops extremely rapidly in various ways. Babies use their senses to learn to interact with the environment around them, and their bodies grow stronger and what? Mature. One way babies learn to use their bodies is by learning to achieve large physical tasks or gross motor skills, such as what? Such as what?
Crawling and walking.
That's large motor skills. In infancy, a baby develops extremely rapidly in various ways. Babies use their senses to learn to interact. To interact with what? The environment around them. And their bodies grow stronger and mature. One way, babies learn to use their bodies is by learning to achieve large physical tasks, or in other words, gross motor skills, such as crawling and walking. An infant goes through a series of physical milestones that build off each other to help him learn successively more difficult and complex actions. Typically, the development of major physical skills follows a pattern that starts with holding up the head, leads to rolling over, sitting up, growing and standing, and finally culminates in walking. Lifting up the head and pushing up on his arms develop during months 2 to 3 of a baby's life. Right? Simple. Simple part of this. You already know about these things. I believe about these things one way or another. Rolling over occurs around month 4, and the month 6, most babies can sit up and assist it. Remember those milestones? We discussed in the class. Yeah? Growing occurs between 3 months, month 7 and what? 10. Sometimes after 10 months, a baby will learn to stand and take his first steps. Just after birth, the baby has little to no control over his neck muscles. Before any other physical skills can be mastered, he must learn to lift and hold up his head. Arm and leg development often come naturally to a baby as he stretches and pushes with his lips. Fine motor skills are just as important as the large muscle development that babies go through. Infants often can first grasp a toy at around 4 to 5 months of age. Simple. Right? Amashizizindea mutumwere pakupunga apa savitike bose. Simple. As simple as eating guy with what? Sugar, right? Between 9 and 12 months, the infant's what? Pressure, grasp, develops, which is the ability to hold something between his first two fingers instead of just with his whole hand. Ah, you get the point? Yeah. Yeah?
Repeat.
Read.
What
First of
is
all, read for
principal
me.
grasp develops?
Como counting by saying
Read.
between is it 90 between 9 to 12 months the infants what
Difference
Pressure
means
grasp
develops
develops.
which is the ability to hold something between his first two fingers instead of just with his whole hand.
You use two fingers, pick something, instead of using maybe the whole hand. The whole hand, right? Yeah. In the second year of life, toddlers continue to become more mobile and more agile. Second year of life, toddlers continue to become more mobile, moving up and down. Hey, definitely. Where? What did we get about it? And I you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's according to this particular age or in this kind of life. Toddlers continue to become more mobile and more agile. Around 15 months, babies begin to climb stairs. And these are milestones. Higher chairs and furniture. And they will not yet be able to get back down once they reach the top. Right? How do you try to observe? When somebody's on top of the chair or table or whatever, maybe display, you see now somebody, you know how what to do for him to get out or to climb down or to go down the stairs or go down the chair, whatever. You see him now climbing somebody to go and pick him. And moving around, it's failing to find ways of trying to go down. By 18 months, toddlers' balance becomes more stable. 18 months, how many years now? 18 months, how many years? Mm-hmm.
One
Mm-hmm.
1 year 6 months.
1 year, 6 months. 1.5 years, is it? 1.5 years. Okay. Near the end of their second year, toddlers begin to develop complex gross motor skills, such as throwing objects for a distance and what? Kicking. But in the 4 months, they can jump in place and balance. They can jump in place and balance on the one foot for a short period of time, and they begin pedaling their first cycle. Have you ever seen or observed a child standing on one leg, right? Without falling down, right? At the same hour, you see somebody trying to pedal his first what? Cycle, maybe to cycle. All right? At the age of what? 2. He's able to stand upright, use one leg, or cycling at the same time. At the end of the second year, toddlers are very mobile and can run and walk quickly from one place to another. I remember our place, a little boy, I think he's now about 15. When he was young, he always ran. And Sept was in Kutoza. Sept was by one you know what? Namatamanga ndikafika pakona ndimakola sana. Sura ya kulagaya simavutika. Namatamanga yobona ndikola sana. Sura already yakola. Zitu. My point is, at this age, ana amatamanga. They're so mobile. Yes, okay. Here, that's cognitive development. Babies are not only growing physically during the first 2 years of life, no, but also cognitively, or in other words, mentally. While physical growth and change is easily observed and measured in precise terms, such as in inches and pounds, cognitive change and development is a little harder to determine as clearly. Therefore, much about what experts know about mental and cognitive development is based on the careful observation of developmental theorists and their theories, such as Piaget's theory of cognitive development and Ellison's psychosocial states of development. Remember Piaget? He developed what we call 4 stages of development. Ellison, how many stages? 8 stages of development. According to Piaget, newborns interact with their environment entirely through reflexive behaviors. They do not think about what they were going to do, but rather for their instincts and involuntarily. Yes.
What are instincts?
Instincts. Well, Greta, tell me, please help me. Instincts.
Instinct. Is it not touching them?
Sir?
Could instinct like water?
Instinct.
I. Comfort. INSE. Spelling.
Mesa uliona baba unena soma
Instinct.
Instincts.
ai bota.
Yeah.
Anatupa soma.
What does it mean? Yes.
Instincts more follow their ideas.
Ideas? Okay, I'll give you an example. It's instinct. We're saying they do not think about what they are going to do, but rather for their instincts and involuntary actions to get what they need: food, air, and attention. For example, put one out in summer guys, come Amadan. Amami, right? That's an instinct. You get the point? So when you take a move I think I need to repeat something. All right? Yeah. I think I need to repeat something.
Unatija do about that.
But try not to.
Yes.
It's just the same.
So Gasanya, which I am going to talk about, so before the nature. Piaget believed that as babies begin to grow and learn about their environment through their senses, they begin to engage in intentional, goal-directed what? Behaviors. In other words, they begin to think about what they want to accomplish, how to accomplish it, and then they do it. Mapoya Bayamba, they go by their what instinct. But with the passage of time, they now start thinking. This is also when infants develop object permanence. Please know that one, very much important. No, that one, very much important.
Which one?
Object permanence. This is also when infants develop object what? Permanence, which is the ability to understand that something still exists when even it can't be seen. All right? We are assuming this is a baby girl. All right? Absolutely funny. Do you get the point?
Yes.
Take this phone. Now, phone ija, tamujo tsila. Choka. You see her now going along the same place, looking for a phone. Because this phone, though it has been taken away, to her, this phone is still existing, though she can't see it. That's why you see her going around the tables, whatever, looking for the phone. Because it has been registered in his word. Man, and the phone is there. So you see her in search of what? Going around in search of the what? Of the phone, because of what we are trying to put up to say. Okay, because of this, because it has been registered, and he knows the phone is around him, though I can't see it. And that one is so-called object permanence. Object permanence. Once again, object permanence are the highlights and major accomplishments of infant development. About to go now. Emotional, social, what? Development. Sometimes we take emotional padela, social development padela. Sometimes emotional development and social development are taken as one. Babies can feel interest, distress, disgust, and happiness from birth, and can communicate this through facial expressions and body what? Posture. Kutimana alija. How do you know? Abudwala, how do you know? Pain, how do you know? Sometimes facial expressions really tells you that this one is really in pain, this one is hungry, this one something and so forth and so on. If us begin showing spontaneous social smile around age 2 to 3 months, and begin to laugh spontaneously around age 4 months. In addition, between ages 2 and 6 months, infants express other feelings such as what? Anger, sadness, surprise, and what? Fear. Between ages 5 and 6 months, babies begin to exhibit or to portray stranger anxiety. Later, around 6 months, babies begin to mimic the emotions and expressions they see in others. At 8 to 10 months, babies start to experience separation anxiety when separated from their primary caregivers. Around 9 months, babies first thrown to show disquiet, pressure, or sadness. Between ages 9 to 10 months, babies become highly emotional. They go from intense happiness to intense what? Sadness, frustration, anger, and quickly. This emotional instability evens out as babies develop rudimentary strategies for regulating their emotions around age 11 months. Babies' understanding of others' emotions grows as well. Around 12 years or 12 months, babies become aware of not only other people's expressions, but also their actual emotional states, especially distress. It's interesting to note that babies begin to exhibit jealousy at the end of this first year, around age 12 months. As toddlers move into the end of the second year, they continue to build on the emotional progress they have already made. Yeah, so I think let's call it a day because of time, right? I'll give you notes. I put these notes on the forum. I think they're easy for someone to follow and understand. Next time as we in class, we'll do something different. Please. Get it? Hello. I'm assuming you're gonna go through this, you're gonna read, you're gonna understand. But if you start to find a problem, please don't hesitate. Find me. Ask questions.